I wanted to share and reflect on my journey and my experience over the past 3 years. 3 years ago in March, I had a really bad accident where I fell from a cliff and I broke my leg. And I broke my leg in a way that my bone came out and multiple bones in my body were also affected. This was in Portugal and I was brought into the hospital, which tried to fix me, and they put a metal plate into my leg, and they adjusted the angle for my ankle to get into the right position. However, after all of the surgery in getting the metal in and getting the adjustments, a couple of months after, when I went to the scan, it was discovered that the bone was not growing together, and in fact my mobility have been lost completely in the ankle. The doctors weren't any complimentary in terms of my recovery and what the future looks like. In fact, the surgeon came to me and said that in his professional opinion, I won't be able to walk again properly because the leg is just not going to return to normal and the mobility is not going to be there. And I should be happy that they didn't have to amputate the ankle, because that was one of the options there. And in that very moment, I thought to myself that I'm actually not okay with that. I don't think that this is the only option that is available to me, and I think that there's another path. There's a path to recovery, and okay, maybe it's never going to be the same way that it used to be, but it's definitely can improve if I'm going to be focusing and working on it. And so I had multiple other surgeries. One of the surgeries that I did a few months after my initial one was to remove the metal work that was misaligned, to put it back correctly to allow the bones to grow. And while the surgeons were performing that, they have discovered that one of my ligaments in my leg has not been attached. So when the surgeons were doing the first job, they forgot to attach a key ligament that was responsible for dorsiflexion to moving the leg. And no wonder why I had experienced such a inability to move the leg, and it felt so heavy and it felt so stuffy. And so once they've done the second surgery, the surgeon just told me, normally the ligament after so many months, it doesn't grow together because the sides of it, they close, but they still sewed it, they attached it together, and they said, okay, let's see what's going to happen. So I just thought to myself that, okay, there must be a way. And I was doing a lot of visualization. I was doing a lot of mental practice in terms of thinking about it. How is this all come together? How is it healing? And the good thing is that after a few weeks and months, when the MRI scan was performed, the doctors told me, actually, the ligament has grown together and the bones are coming together as well. So I was quite pleased with that progress. Yet, the whole inability of moving the ankle and walking was right in front of me. So maybe just to put it in perspective, I was 6 months in the hospital. I was in bed. I've undergone quite extensive and severe surgeries, and my leg was constantly inflamed and like trying to heal. And I was told that, okay, you'll have to use crutches, you'll have to get a shoe with a high heel just to try to get you to the point of walking. And I thought, okay, like it's not the life that I want to live, and it's not what I have learned throughout all of my years studying with Anna and being a bamboo body, particularly because the moment that I had the accident, there was a weird pause in my head where I clearly realized that as I was falling, if I don't turn around and land on my legs, I would land on my spine. And I've managed to turn around in the air, and landed on my feet and my arms. And that's why just my legs were affected versus it could have been much worse. So I think it's good what we do in life and how we prepare ourselves for all of the unexpected situations. And I've been practicing with Bamboo Body for many years, and I think this is one of the things that got into my body, into my system, so that I could react in the moment and I could react in the best way possible to preserve myself, to preserve my life in essence. And then it's the mindset. It's the mindset where you are very determined and in tune with your body, and you know that no is not good enough, yes, and that there is always a possibility. What you need to do is you need to focus, you need to allow yourself to go through the stages, and you need to be guided and supported in the best way. And this is what I've received over the past, not just the 3 years of my recovery, but even before, since Anna opened the school back in the days. Particularly if I look back maybe at the past 3 years, it's been the support that I received and the guidance in terms of how to think and act in my recovery. I was supported at every stage, from being in bed in the hospital, thinking and visualizing how the muscles are working, performing micro movements, starting already that recovery work and preparing myself for what's going to come next. And what was going to come next for me was a few months spent in the wheelchair, and then getting out of the wheelchair during the day and doing gentle exercises just to start connecting the body, engaging the nervous system, and sending the signals that I'm okay, I'm getting better, it's healing, it's recovering. And then getting onto the crutches, and then after a few months getting off the crutches and working on an increased scale and also an increased scope in terms of what is right for me and for my recovery. So focusing on strength, focusing on mobility, focusing on making the bones move so that they are restoring the pattern and the ability for all of the interconnected parts of the body, so that my walking can restore, working on the balance so that I can support myself in a better way. And then also working mentally so that I don't give up. Every day, you have to show up. If you want to see results, you have to show up and you have to do the work. You cannot expect that suddenly, if you're taking some pills or if you're just doing the bare minimum, you're going to be seeing extraordinary results. I didn't find that was the way. What has worked for me, it was a daily routine that consisted of many hours of many different exercises, many different engagements, and not just working with my leg, but also working with the whole body, because it needed the connection, whether that's working through the spinal waves or engaging different parts of the body. But all of that was coherent and connected. That has been moving me every day closer to a better recovery, to a better ability to move. And as with many things, some days were easier and some days where I've seen a lot of progress, but there were periods where I felt that, it's not moving, it's not happening, I'm not recovering, it's stuck. But again, it's showing up every day. It's listening to your body. It's working with Anna that allowed me to overcome that, to make a steady progress over this period of time. And it's been almost 3 years. So from the moment when the doctor told me that I could have lost my if not life, then my leg, to the point where I've been told, okay, your leg is saved, but you won't be able to walk, to the moment where I am today, where I have not recovered fully in terms of my mobility, but I am comfortable in my day-to-day. I can walk in the streets, and my friends and my family and people that don't know me, when they look at how I'm walking and what I'm doing, they actually have no idea what has happened to me, because it has become so close to where it was that it's comfortable for the life that I'm leading. Now, there's still more work to be done, and I think that's the beauty of the human experience and the whole journey that we have, that the more we learn, the more we know the scope of what's in front of us. And for me, being able to relate that to my accident, I can see what the journey is in front of me. And that commitment to experience and to continue working is there. So I look forward to see what the next period, in terms of maybe a year, 2 years, or 3 years, is going to look like. But I know that if you have the right guides, and if you have the right support, and if you have made a conscious decision to work on these things, and you allow the focus and the time in your life, and you relentlessly pursue it, you will see the results. It's going to happen, and you are going to make progress against anything or any adversity that is there. So my sincere invitation is to keep moving, keep exploring, and the most important thing, to have the right community around yourself, and to have the right teacher that will guide you and support you and challenge you in the right way to achieve your goals. And in my case, it was a goal of recovery and overall health and well-being.